Welcome to the topic Le-Chatelier's principle from the chapter Equilibrium from HS first year, and we are going to look at the effect of concentration, pressure and temperature on the equilibrium. According to the Le-Chatelier's principle, if a system in equilibrium is subjected to a change in concentration, pressure or temperature, then the equilibrium will shift in that direction that tends to nullify the effect of that change. In order to nullify the effect of change in concentration, pressure, or temperature, the equilibrium may either shift in the forward direction, that is, towards the products, or it may shift in the backward direction, that means towards the reactants of a particular reaction. Now, for a certain reaction to be in a state of equilibrium, it must be a reversible reaction. The term equilibrium is not related to the irreversible reactions. Now let us look at the effects of concentration, pressure and temperature one by one. At first, effect of concentration. Increase in concentration of any one of the reactant will shift the equilibrium in the forward direction, that means towards the products. And on the other hand, increase in concentration of any one of the product will shift the equilibrium in the backward direction, that means towards the reactants. We can remember this easily because it is obvious that if we increase the concentration of reactant, then the formation of products will be favored and thus the equilibrium will shift towards the product. And in the opposite case, if the concentration of the product is increased, then the concentration of the reactant will become less as compared to the product, and so the equilibrium will tend to shift towards the reactants. Now let us try to understand it in a better way by visualizing the situations. Let us consider a reversible reaction of the given form, and then let us suppose that we increase the concentration of A, which is a reactant of this reaction. Then the equilibrium will shift in the forward direction as shown. On the other hand, decrease in the concentration of A will shift the equilibrium in the backward direction as shown by the blue arrow. These were for the change in concentration of the reactants. Now let us see, if the concentration of the product is increased, then the equilibrium will shift towards the reactants, that means in the forward direction. Concentration of the product D is decreased, then the equilibrium will shift in backward direction. This single depiction will help you to understand the changes in concentration and the effect in equilibrium in a better way. After this, let's move on to the effect of pressure. Increase in pressure will shift the equilibrium towards that side where total number of moles is less, and on the other hand, decrease in pressure will shift the equilibrium towards that side where the total number of moles is more. You can remember this as an opposite relation in which increase in pressure will shift equilibrium towards low number of mole and decrease in pressure will shift it towards more number of mole. We can calculate the number of moles by adding up the stoichiometric coefficients of the reactants and the products. For a better understanding, let's take an example. Here, we can see that the total number of moles in the reactants is 3, while it is 4 in the products side. So, we can see that the number of moles in the products is more than the number of moles in the reactants. So, when the pressure will increase, the equilibrium will tend to shift towards the lesser number of moles, that means in the backward direction. And on the other hand, when the pressure decreases, then the equilibrium will tend to shift towards the forward direction, that means where the number of moles is more. Finally, let's look at the effects of temperature. Here we will consider two separate cases, endothermic reactions and exothermic reactions. For endothermic reactions, which requires energy in the form of heat, of course, high temperature will enhance the formation of the products. So, high temperature shifts the equilibrium in the forward direction, that is, towards the products, and low temperature will shift it in the backward direction towards the reactants. Similarly, for exothermic reactions, heat is released, so low temperature will favor the formation of products, and thus a lower temperature will shift the equilibrium in the forward direction towards the products, and high temperature will shift it towards the reactants, that means backwards. It is because exothermic reactions are favored by low temperature but not favored by high temperature. Again, we can have a better understanding of these changes by taking help of an example. Let us consider an endothermic reaction with reactants R and products P. It will be favored by an increase in temperature, so temperature rises, then the equilibrium will shift towards the products, that means in the forward direction. On the other hand, if we decrease the temperature, then the formation of products will not be favored and the equilibrium will shift towards the reactants in the backward direction. Now, considering an exothermic reaction, here the reaction will be favored by lower temperature, so if the temperature decreases, then the equilibrium will shift towards the products in the forward direction. And at the same time, if the temperature is increased, which is not favorable for exothermic reaction, the equilibrium shifts in the backward direction towards the reactants. Thus, we can easily interpret the effect of change in temperature if we know the terms exothermic and endothermic well. In the end, let's take an actual reaction and let's see the effects of change in concentration, pressure and temperature on this reaction, in which PCl5 decomposes reversibly to PCl3 and Cl2. To interpret the effect of change in concentration, we can make out the following 4 points. If the concentration of PCl5 increases, equilibrium will shift in the forward direction, and if the concentration of PCl5 decreases, the equilibrium will shift in the backward direction because PCl5 is the reactant here. And on the other hand, if the concentration of products, that means PCl3 or Cl2, increases, then the equilibrium will shift in the backward direction, and if the concentration of these products decreases, the equilibrium will shift in the forward direction. So these are the 4 consequences of increase or decrease in concentration of the product or the reactant. For the effect of pressure, we can say that if the pressure increases, the equilibrium will shift towards the lesser number of moles, that is in the backward direction, because here the number of mole of the reactant side is only 1. And on the other hand, if the pressure decreases, the equilibrium will shift towards the more number of moles, that means in the forward direction, because the number of mole in the products is 2, which is more than 1. For the effect of change in temperature, as the composition is endothermic, so an increase in temperature will shift the equilibrium in the forward direction and favor the decomposition of PCl5, and as combination is exothermic, so a decrease in temperature will shift the equilibrium in the backward direction and favor the combination of PCl3 and Cl2 to form PCl5. Here we can see that an increase in temperature is favoring the decomposition of PCl5 and the decrease in temperature is favoring a combination of PCl3 and Cl2. So the effect of change in temperature on equilibrium is dependent on whether the reaction is exothermic or endothermic. And whenever asked in the examinations, enough information will be provided to you so that you can make out whether the given reaction is exothermic or an endothermic reaction. I hope after watching this video, you all are able to grasp the main points of the Lesch-Talior's principle and you will not get confused about the direction of equilibrium shift. So that was all for today's topic. If the video was beneficial, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe my channel to get more such videos on simple explanations of the topics included in HS syllabus. I will be back with another video. Thanks for watching.